Yo, what's up, guys? This is Matthew here from Local Demo Service. When I first started my business, Local Demo Service, and I was making basically no money and putting a lot of money into the company, I had people pretty close to me that were saying that, and even telling my spouse that I couldn't be trusted because I didn't make enough money. These same people would also brag highly about how they made more money than all their spouses and anybody they've ever dated. I even had one family member who did not have a job questioning what I was doing with my life when I was running my company and I got hit by COVID and I had to let go of my full team. For the first 10 years of my business, a lot of people that were very close to me even would essentially hate on me for what I was doing. I mean, let's just put it the way it is. They had all this advice as to what I should have done during that time. I was told to get a job, which I did get jobs during the season to supplement the income while I was scaling my company. Had I followed that advice, I would not be at where I'm at today. 10 years later, I've got a team of employees. I've got over 300 contractors I hire year-round nationwide from Hawaii to Florida. We've got a pretty sizable demo team, and we're starting to take market share from the big players in the game. And I also have a lot of vision as to how to go from 7 figures to 8 figures. It's not a baby company anymore. We're no longer a small fish. We're kind of a fish to be reckoned with in my space. Had I listened to them, I wouldn't be here. Now that I'm here, a lot of those same people, I'm getting complaints as to what I should do with my money and how I should be. I've been told I'm selfish. I've had my spouse be called materialistic, which, by the way, she gives away a bunch of stuff, and she's a huge reason why we donate a lot of our proceeds to Underground Railroad, which before I couldn't even think about donating to because I could barely feed my family. Those are a lot of the same people that were also telling me that I can't be trusted because I don't make enough money, or that I should sell my company and get a job. People that were telling me negative things about my company when I wasn't making enough money, and then the same people telling me negative things now that I'm making a lot of money. The point of this little rant right here is, honestly, don't listen to people unless they're really cheering for you. You got to listen to God first and foremost. God's going to tell you what to do. This company that I'm running today is not because of me. It is because of God. I felt like God was calling me away from the martial arts and CrossFit industry because those were my first jobs. First job was coaching martial arts. I competed for a long time. I was 21 years old, and then I felt like God was pulling me away from that, and for a variety of reasons, but also just because I had a feeling in my gut. And I took a major pay cut and worked a bunch of jobs that made no sense. Eventually was given a business. And then 10 years later, well, it's almost 11 years now. November 15th will be the 11th year in business. Now we're doing 7-figure plus revenue, probably going to do that in profit this year. And then I'm already eyeing how do we get to 10. So don't listen to what people have to say unless you really think it's God speaking to you through these people. People are going to hate on you no matter if you're doing good, bad, left, right, X, Y, Z. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Haters are going to hate. That's why that phrase it's honestly a really wise phrase, because it is the truth. No matter what, haters are going to hate you. And there are going to be haters around you too. If you're failing, people who are insecure are going to hate on you because they need to put you down so they can put themselves higher. And then they're going to do the same thing when you're high up too. When you're high up, they're going to say negative things about you because they need to push you down so they can position themselves higher. That's just human nature, unfortunately, but it's the truth. That's what humans do. Yeah, it just shows you how broken the human world is, honestly. You would hate on somebody for trying to do something that is holy and righteous in their eyes. They're trying to go the right direction, and maybe they're off. Sometimes people do things with good intentions and they go the wrong direction. It says the highway to hell is paved with good intention. But on the same note, if you're trying your best and you do want to honor God and you think you're following the right direction, of course, we're going to take a wrong step left or a wrong step right every now and again. But in general, if somebody's doing their best to follow God and they're really trying to, and they're doing things that, seem like the wrong direction to the general public, those are probably the people that we need to really look at and pray to God, are they really going the wrong direction? And if so, why? We could be discouraging somebody from doing God's will, and we don't want to do that. Now, ultimately, if it's God's will be done. You can't stop it. So I guess to some extent, it doesn't even matter. But you don't want to be discouraging somebody from God's path because it's kind of working against God to some extent. So that's my rant. Once again, haters are going to hate. Whether you're doing good, bad, okay, great, phenomenal. If you have a strong marriage, people are going to hate. If you have kids that love you and you homeschool them and they're super talented and they're not getting in trouble for a bunch of things, people are still going to hate you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. And the more you do, the more people are going to hate too. So I've had people tell me that you're selfish unless you have kids. And then in the same thread, those people will talk about how our particular type of parenting is selfish, and we're going to damage our kids. So it's like, you're going to get hate all around. So the whole point of this, haters are going to hate. Ignore the hatred, listen to sound advice. You need sound counsel. And sound counsel is typically not going to turn you away from your direction. They're just going to help you go the direction you're going better. So I think that's one key distinction between what is hate and what is not hate. Is it literally trying to get you to turn a different direction? It's fine if it's a moral thing. If you're in sin, you need to change your direction. That one for sure, you need to change your direction. So that I understand, but we're not talking about moral things. We're talking about like, should I run a business? Should I be an employee? Should I hire this person? Do I want to expand my company into Canada? That's what you need. Because if you set a good goal, hopefully it's within God's will. If it's not, then obviously it's not going to happen. But if it is, you want to get there as efficiently as possible. So having people in your corner that are not going to tell you, hey, go that way instead, like don't build that business. You want somebody instead who's going to be like, okay, you want to build this business? Well, that's a great idea. But maybe while you're building it, you should also go work for this person to get paid while you learn the skill and then bring that to your business. That's better advice than just straight, no, go get a job, right? One's literally just discouragement. So yeah, I'm sure if you're listening, you're probably on some sort of journey, whether it's buying a house or launching a business or planting a church or starting a family with your spouse, whatever it is. God bless your journeys. I'm here to encourage you. Haters gonna hate whether you're failing or successful. They say it's lonely at the top, and it's true. It's kind of lonely everywhere, but that's why you need God, right? You got God in your corner. When you're at your loneliest, God is gonna be there anyways. So if this video helped me, shoot me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to learn about CPG or business, comment down below what you want to learn about in the space. We've scaled our company from basically just doing it myself, running around on a bus in Hawaii, to now having sales, marketing, finance, operations, and people underneath all of those roles, and then also brand ambassadors nationwide. So I'm starting to understand what business is like. So I think I could probably help you out if you're starting out, but I got your back. God bless you. Go get it. One more I wanted to mention is there was a time period in my life where I was training 7 days a week, like pretty much every single week, guaranteed. I was doing gymnastics literally Monday through Sunday, and it was awesome. Like I felt the best that I ever felt in my life then, physically. Like my digestion was good, my body felt good, I didn't have injuries, I felt like I could move, I felt like I could do most things. So, and I spent about, maybe an hour a day, 7 days a week. That's 7 hours. That is a good amount of time. This is before I had kids. And in that season, the same people that were telling me that I should quit my business, sell it and get a job, and, that I can't be trusted because I don't make enough money. And then later, telling me that Gravelicious and all that. Those same people were telling me, oh, I'm overtraining, it's bad for my body. Oh, I'm obsessed. Oh, I'm addicted. And it's like, now that I'm older, it's harder for me to work out 7 days a week. Right? I have so many more challenges, and I have to push myself to even train that much. And there's very few weeks where I can actually really accomplish that. And I'm sorry, but I don't feel any moral, like anything bad about training 7 days a week at all. Sure, you can totally become addicted to training. And I don't know if I was addicted to training back then, maybe, maybe not. I took a long fast off training when I first came to Christ because I wanted to make sure. But on the same note, I'm like, dude, now that I'm in my mid 30s, that was the stupidest advice that person could have gave me, because I took it in and I got depressed about it. And I was like, man, I guess I am overtraining. Maybe I'm dishonoring God. I'm a little older, a little wiser now. And it's like, this is my temple that God has given me. I can go drink or I can work out. I can sleep well, right? Or I can not sleep well. Right? I could be able to pick up my kids and play with my kids more and have more energy, or I could not, right? And the training 7 days a week helped with all of those positive things more than it did anything negative. So, even if there was a quote addiction, right? Which I guess you could have fitness as an idol, right? If you put it before things. Now, I don't even have that option anymore because I'm literally too tired a lot of the times, right? So there's days like today where I'm like, man, I got to go train later today. I don't want that attitude. I'd rather have the I'm in love, I'm passionate about training thing 7 days a week, literally, right? Over the weekend, I had like 3 days where I kind of like did a little bit of training, I did a little bit of stretching and stuff. I played with my kids, pretended to be a gorilla on the ground type of, but that was the most I could bring myself to do. And so once again, it just goes back to the fact that, like, do you want me training every day for an hour so I have the rest of the day to do whatever I need to do? Or do you want me sitting on my ass eating potato chips and drinking alcohol? Like, which one do you want? Like, you got to think about the advice you're giving people. if you're going to tell somebody that they're overtraining or they're idolizing something, you probably want to know what you're talking about before you say it. You probably should ask them some questions like, oh, is your marriage falling apart because of your training? Like, does your spouse feel neglected? Do your kids feel neglected? Do you feel like it gives you more energy to play with your kids? Right? Is your health quality? Are you in pain? Right? Are you injuring yourself? Right? Because I wasn't training like a professional athlete, like at the top of there, getting shoulder injuries and knee injuries. I haven't had injuries. So that advice, I realized looking back, was just another hater's gonna hate type of thing. It's like that, literally the worst advice I ever had. I should have never gotten down about it. I'm glad I've pondered it to this point. There's that blessing. But God gave me this body. Dude, I got to take care of it, and I got to spend my time wisely and my energy wisely. Spend it on my kids, spend it on my business, spend it on my wife, right? Spend it on ministry. I have more energy when I train, bottom line. So just one more example of how haters are going to hate and how they're going to tell you negative things. If you're trying to work out, if you're trying to be an athlete, you're trying to be in better shape. Oh, you might get injured. No,